I think the first most important ingredient is a shared vision.
And we had no clue कैसे काम करने वाले हैं. If you asked me in 2015 what is the model for scale, मैं आपको बता रहा था एक फैसिलिटेटर है, आर्ट स्कूल है, बिल्डअप हो जाएगा, हो गया स्केल.
At 10 crore, I think you're significant because they're not, you break away from the gazillion NGOs doing little work all over the place.
I think the first most important ingredient is a shared vision that must be shared by all those in the system and not just people at the top. It should be something which is very clearly articulated. The understanding of that vision and what needs to be done is the same at, let's say, the level of secretary and the teacher. So a shared vision is very important. Ideally, this shared vision should be developed through consultation and dialogue, rather than just someone deciding, and what reaches the teacher is a prescriptive package of how to do things. So the second important ingredient of trying to scale a good intervention is to have champions of that transformative change. These can be people from within the system or outside, and they should be not just convinced about that change, but actually live that change to be able to convince others about that change. Related to this is having a number of demonstration sites where this change can actually be implemented for people to go and see. A live site where you can see change is very convincing. Third important ingredient of taking a good program to scale is to have a kind of informal agreement or compact between all the stakeholders. I've seen this work where, let's say, at a school or a panchayat level, teachers, the head teacher, the education department, the panchayat people, a local religious leader, for example, all of them come together and maybe even sign an agreement to say that this is what we are going to do, this is our objective, and it's shared amongst all. So I call that like a compact between stakeholders. The fourth ingredient, which is very crucial, is to involve institutions, because especially for people who are working in non-government organizations, we go and do our thing, and after that, after a few years, it's not there. So it's very important to be involving institutions within the education system, like the diets or BRCs or CRCs. So I would place these four as the most important ingredients to be taking anything to scale.
सिंह अच्छा इनके साथ किस तरह से काम करना होगा. Started working with these 60 schools, worked for I think 2 years, 2015. I think by 2015 we were working with around 90 schools across North, East and South Delhi. And then we had this, we received a phone call saying आपको ट्रेनिंग करानी है SMCs की, आप करा सकते हैं. We said हम करा देंगे ट्रेनिंग. We went there, करीबन 14-15 लोग थे, हम लोगों ने ट्रेनिंग करा दी. बड़े खुश हो गए, हाँ देखो हमने ट्रेनिंग कराई 14-15 लोगों की, वो भी दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट में ट्रेनिंग कराई. एंड देन सडनली आया कि अच्छा ये तो अच्छा था, कैन यू वर्क विद अक्रॉस ऑल द स्कूल्स इन दिल्ली. All the schools. So from 90 jumping to around 1,000 plus schools, 1,100 schools. And I think we was basically very stuck by the fact कि अरे बाबा मतलब 90 में करते हैं, इसको कैसे करेंगे. एंड 90 में जो हम करते थे वो था, एक फैसिलिटेटर था, आर्ट स्कूल थे, स्कूल में जाता था, पेरेंट्स के साथ काम करेगा, प्रिंसिपल के साथ काम करेगा. तो हमने कहा 1000 में कैसे करना होगा, फैसिलिटेटर की बढ़ा देंगे, मैनेजमेंट हो जाएगा, हो जाएगा. पर देन वी फिगर्ड आउट कि फॉर द 1000 हमें तो आर्मी क्रिएट करनी पड़ेगी, एंड वो तो दैट्स समथिंग दैट वी कांट डू, एंड वी विल नॉट हैव, कोई पैसे देने को भी तैयार नहीं होगा, पैसा मिलेगा भी नहीं उतने चीज़ के लिए. एंड सो वी वर थिंकिंग अबाउट कैसे किया जाए. आई थिंक वी वर इन टू माइंड्स, शुड वी डू इट, शुड वी नॉट डू इट. I think the people we were working with in Delhi, the SCRT, the officers, they were very open to saying, "Acha, you tell us how will you work." And we said, "Acha." They were very open, एंड ही सेड क्या करें. सो आई रिमेंबर हैविंग कॉल्ड अप आदित्य एंड आस्क्ड हर कि आदित्य वो बोल रहे हैं हम अभी इतने में करना है, should we do should not do it. And I remember he said it's better to have learned and failed rather than have not tried anything. हमने कहा ठीक है भाई कूद जाते हैं. So I think with that we jumped into it and we had no clue कैसे काम करने वाले हैं. If you asked me in 2015 what is the model for scale, मैं आपको बता रहा था एक फैसिलिटेटर है, आर्ट स्कूल है, बिल्डअप हो जाएगा, हो गया स्केल. एंड आई थिंक राइट नाउ we've also figured out अच्छा स्केलिंग का शायद मॉडल भी डिफरेंट हो सकता है. And then how do you scale and how do you sort of learn could be two different things also. And so we literally had to figure out a model while making a model. तो हम plane चला रहे थे और plane crash कर रहा था. So we were doing both things. So I think that gave us deep insights into system के साथ कैसे काम करना है. How do you work at scale? How do you work? What are the challenges on working with a large scale system and how do you sort of then scale?
Almost iterating on the go.
On the go.
जैसे आप बोल रहे हो, you've got a flight which is on the air and you're changing course midway.
And I think तो होता है ना लोग rapid prototyping कीजिए rapid, and I think this is something that I've often heard. Scale का model क्या है? Scale का model क्या है? बहुत सारे लोग पूछते थे. And I think if you अगर मुझे अभी किसी को जवाब देना हो मैं कहूँगा स्केल करो तो मैं समझ में आ जाएगा मॉडल क्या है. Until unless you do it, you will not figure out what is the model of the scale. You will have a mental map of the scale, ठीक है, but that is not a model of scale. Model of scale तभी समझ में आएगा when you do it. And I think बहुत ज़्यादा ना कभी कभार एक तरीका आ जाता है कि पहले ये होगा उसके बाद फिगर आउट होगा कि स्केल कैसे होता है. I think what we've learned is you can sort of do a lot of different things simultaneously while figuring out, oh, this is how it is being done, this is what the model is, this is what the impact is.
I think if you're starting from scratch, if you can get to 50 to 100 people and get to like a 10 crore budget within 5 years, that's a pretty good achievement. Because remember, the floodgates only start to open in year 4 or year 5 in terms of CSR, FCRA, all of that, right? So I think that's a pretty good target to keep in mind if you're an entrepreneur. And I think beyond that, the next milestone is getting to 25 crore, which may take another 5 years, 25, 30 crore if you're successful. And the larger organizations we know in India are 100 plus crore. There are very few of them. But I think getting to that point may take at least 10 to 15 years. I don't know of anybody who's done it in 10 years. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I mean, even organizations that like Teach for India that scaled up very rapidly, got to a budget of not quite 100 crore, but a little bit less than that, at the 10-year mark. So I think those are kind of reasonable points in time. And at 10 crore, I think you're significant because you break away from the gazillion NGOs doing little work all over the place. At 30 crore, you're actually quite meaningful. You're in the sort of rarefied space of the top percentile already of NGOs. And when you're at 100 plus crore, you've really made it. You're on that leaderboard, as it were, or Fortune 50 if I use the corporate equivalent, in the NGO space.